maybe 5-10 years ago. He's getting older as well. I'm sure he wants to cash out now, beat the biggest name in boxing in the welterweight division, which is Spence. Once he beats him, he's known as the best fighter. You know what I mean? There's no one else better, in my opinion.
Hopefully, I can spin that block again and, go to negotiations and try to fight him, because it's a fight I really want. So, hopefully we can make it happen next year.
Okay, if that's the case, then when do you want to be back in the ring? Because you just said that you expect to be back in the ring. When will you be back in the ring?
Probably like around May or June, April, May or June.
According to a tweet from Errol Spence, and a tweet is as good as a guarantee now. A tweet, some people think a tweet is as good as a contract signed. Errol Spence will be fighting in April against who? We don't know. Did he spin the block again? Did the big fish spin the block again and negotiated with Crawford behind closed doors? And will we get that fight in April? We all know the big fish does not take tune-ups. He came back from a car accident. He took on Danny Garcia. Even though Errol Spence says, I could beat Danny Garcia at 70%. That sounds like a tune-up. Danny Garcia has not beat anybody in 147 pounds that's worth mentioning. He unifies with Yordenis Ugas, who I think is a good fighter. The WBA strap was handed to him, and he lost 4 fights before fighting Errol Spence. And the reason I bring this up is they get on Crawford for fighting David Evanesian, who had lost to Lamont Peterson and Mean Machine 4 or 5 years ago, and who was a top 10 welterweight and stopped 6 opponents in a row, but yet he's a cherry pick. Now, if I had to bet money on who Errol Spence is going to fight next, is Keith one-time Thurman, who was once unified champion. He's not the same one-time anymore, but once this fight is announced, they're going to say Keith Thurman is a former unified champion. His only loss is to Manny Pacquiao. But we know a while back, Keith Thurman has lost his fastball. He's not the same fighter he was in 2017, 2016. Keith Thurman has suffered injuries, long layoffs, but people want to live in the past. They think it's the same one-time Thurman in 2017, 2016. But if you're going to call David Evanesian a tune-up, then we got to call Keith Thurman a tune-up. And I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope Keith Thurman has the training camp of his life. He's in the best shape in his life. His hands are healed, and his punch resistance is back. But the reality of the situation is I haven't seen the old one-time in a while. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Is Spence going to fight Keith Thurman in April? Or is Spence going to move up to 154 and fight one of those guys like Fendora or something like that? Or did Errol Spence keep his word and spin the block again and give us the Terence Crawford fight in April? I mean, he said this is the fight he really wants. Prove it. Why waste your time with Keith Thurman? Unfortunately, I think it's Keith Thurman. It's definitely not Jerron Boots, Ennis. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Jay Beasy. By the way, Happy New Year. I'm gone.